Hey, Floss Tube. Long time no chat. Annette from Annette's Acre. It's been over a month. Well, now about a month, I suppose, since my last video, which was covering my plans for the Crazy 7 starts in July. Life has been kind of busy since then, so I haven't had a chance to come back and do another recording. Now, because it's been so long, I have a metric crap ton of stuff to show you. It includes everything from finally finished objects. I've got whips. I've got a pile o' stash to show off. So this is going to take a little while, so get yourself a beverage and some stitching, and we are off to the races. Start with just a little bit of life update. Since July 11th, I suppose, I've been working like normal. But my kids, my son the editor and daughter the artist, came out to California and spent the weekend at San Francisco with us the last weekend of July. We made a trip up to the Jelly Belly factory, and took the tour, which is fun if you're in the Fairfield, California area. It's not too far from San Francisco, or actually it's more inland. It was only about 35 minutes from where our apartment is in San Ramon. So we went up and did that. We went out to San Francisco and went on Fisherman's Wharf. The kids had the joy of experiencing big city traffic when it took us like 3 hours to get home from the city because of all the traffic. But, it was a good day. We went to the aquarium at the bay and saw jellyfish, which are my personal favorite. We saw sharks, which Kylie likes. We saw otters, which my husband likes. So everybody had something. We caught lots of Pokemon on Fisherman's Wharf, which was kind of fun. And just had a really good day. Had lunch at the wharf at a seafood restaurant called Skoma's, which is a not inexpensive place, but it's great for a celebration or a special occasion with the kids being in town. That was definitely qualified. And it was fun to watch their faces when they opened the menu and saw the prices. But it was excellent. And if you're in the San Francisco area and you want good seafood, I definitely recommend going there. So that happened, and then so we were in California for 2 solid weeks. Came home. Zachary's birthday was August 6th. He's now officially 18. He's been working now for just over a month at the local McDonald's, which has and he's got up the morning shift, and he is not a morning person, as is no one in my family. But he's been getting up and going to work at, 5 o'clock in the morning. So he's been very busy with acclimating to the world of working. And he starts college. He gets to add college to that here in a couple weeks, where he'll be going to the local community college to start his college degree. So overall, things have been very busy. Lots of running around. And summers are not usually anywhere near this hectic for us, so it's kind of wild. In 2 weeks, we're again going to stay the weekend in California. My mom's actually going to come out to visit, which means a trip to Needle in a Haystack, since she stitches as well. So that'll be fun. And just lots of other stuff going on. So busy life, but that's okay. So let's get to why you're actually here, and that is the stitching. So I know my last video was short. Obviously, I only did the Crazy 7 and the behind the scenes, so I didn't show really any whips or finishes and stuff. So I've had a few finishes since the 1st of July. The first one I've got is Pine Mountains Holy Night Snapshot. So here's this guy. It's on a 32 count miscellaneous linen. That's what the ticket says, 32 count miscellaneous linen, that I got at Stitcher's Paradise in Las Vegas. The threads are pretty for the most part, they're the called for threads. I only had to substitute a couple. I actually substituted a GAST for a DMC, and I substituted a couple of the GASTs that I didn't have because I just, for the most part, pulled it from stash. So, but this is good. This is finished. As soon as I figure out how I'm going to finish it, I will let you know. So that was the first finish. Then I believe I showed the finish of my invisible snowman in that July 4th video, but now he is finally finished with his felt backing and magnet, so he's ready to go on the refrigerator. Yay! He's been sitting on my nightstand here waiting for me to do another video. So while I was doing my snowman finishing, I also actually pulled out another little Mill Hill kit that I had finished long ago, Mr. Dracula here. He was originally supposed to be finished as a pin. It's a little big. I don't really see myself wearing it. So I just felted his back and got a magnet from Michaels. I got the ceramic magnets from Michaels. I briefly thought about putting one of the thin needle minder magnets on the back of him, but then I realized he would never come off the refrigerator because I would never be able to get enough. He'd have to slide across the fridge. So I stuck with the ceramic magnet, which is not quite as gripping. So he got finally finished, and he's probably been sitting over a year without his backing, so he'll be good to get up on the fridge with my other Halloweenies. Alright, so the crazy 7. So I did manage all 7 starts during that time period. For the rest of the whips and stuff, I'm just kind of going to do them pseudo-chronologically because I started them during the 7. I, in most cases, worked on them again at least once already, with one exception. So I'll go through those with their current state, and then I'll show some of the Olympic, Floss tube, itchy nose. I've been doing the Olympic Sal as well, so I've got pieces to show for that. So we'll just kind of go from there and do that. When we last spoke on the 17th, I had finished day 1 of the Crazy 7, which was my Mill Hill Penguin. As you can see, Mr. Penguin is now finished. And again, he's just felted on the back with a ceramic magnet. I just had a pile of magnets and I just started slapping them on. I don't know if it's the magnet that came with the kit or not. He's originally designed to be a magnet. So he's done and ready to go. He will go to my spouse because he's the penguin collector in the family. And he may travel to California and hang out at work. On Sunday, the 17th, I started my Scotland Santa. Here he is. Now, he's had work since then, including a day of Olympic stitching. So this is where he's at now. What I finished on that first day was basically his shirt and sleeves. That was a Sunday. So I got his shirt and sleeves done. And since then, I've done his plaid up here and all the way down to his kilt down here. So, and in fact, the green in the kilt was what I did on the green Olympic stitching day. So he's coming along very well. Note, I have not put his head in. I haven't stitched his head yet because I don't want him to whine at me to be finished. So, not ready to stitch the head yet. Okay. So that was day 2 of Crazy 7 starts. Day 3 on Monday, I started the Tuscan Cottage, which I have since finished. So for Tuscan Cottage, I basically got the roofs done on that first day and a little bit of the house itself. Since then, I've completed all the stitching and beading. I trimmed it out as a square because I didn't really want to mess with like the little points and stuff, and it just, this way it looks like a picture, right? If I thought of it before I glued on the felt, there's just some brown felt on the back here. If I thought of it before then, I would have left the felt a little wider so it looked like a picture frame, but that's okay. So, Tuscan Cottage is complete with the magnet and ready for the fridge. Tuesday the 19th was Venice Santa. So here he is, Venice Santa. Again, he's been worked on since. Here's where he's at now. I think on that first day I got most of the bottom of his gown here. But he is going along. And these have all just kind of rotated through for the plane. I've been working on them on each flight. On Wednesday the 20th was Captain Santa. Here he is. Here's where we're at. He did not get a whole lot of work on that day because I think we had a dinner or something that we were going to. So he probably just had like some of this blue, and since he's had more work since then, obviously. He's had the least amount of additional work though. No, I take that back. He hasn't had the least one. He's got the second least amount of additional work. All right. On Thursday the 21st, I had my Halloween Mill Hill piece. And again, there's black in here, which I don't know if you can really see. The black stitches down here, a little bit. So I got all that black done and a couple of the letters on that first day. Since then, it's been finished. Another one, I just cut it as a rectangle because I put felt on the back and a magnet. It's going on the fridge. So I did not feel the need to get all the little fiddly bits. Just didn't feel the need. I mean, think about it. When you frame a piece, it turns into a square or a rectangle, right? So we don't, frame around the little edges of the design. So what the heck? So this may be my new way of cutting out, of trimming these magnets, because I do a lot of these. So that was the other finish. So that makes 3 of the Crazy 7 pieces started and finished, which is pretty good. And the rest of them will continue to kind of, one more, almost forgot. On Friday the 22nd, I had Mesa Santa. This one has had no additional work, so I got all of this done on that Friday. He will get more work today for the Olympic style since it's equestrian and we need a piece with an animal. And look, it's an animal. It's not a horse, but it's an animal. So he'll get some more work done today once we're done here. Okay, so that takes care of the Crazy 7s. Phew. Will I do it again? Maybe. Doing the smaller pieces was definitely the way to go, especially because I like to have the smaller pieces for airplanes, so it was very easy to just drop them in an envelope and put them in my carry-on bag, and I could just pull out whichever one I wanted to on Monday morning or on Thursday evening when we're flying. So that worked out really well. So if I do it again, whether it be January, I'll stick with smaller pieces, and trust me, I have enough Mill Hill kits that I could probably do this for at least the next 5 years. Twice a year. I have a lot of Mill Hill kits, so I have a lot of Mill Hill kits. This would be a good way to actually get some of them done. Of varying sizes. Like I said, I have the small magnet pieces, I've got the ornament pieces, I've got Santas, I've got lots of Mill Hill kits. Okay. So that basically finished off July. From a Sal perspective. August, we started off a couple things. So on August 1st, there in Cross Stitch and Discuss, we had there was a Halloween style. So I am all about the Halloween. So I started another Mill Hill kit. I know, shocking, isn't it? Just absolutely shocking. Mill Hill kit. This is Haunted Laboratory. My daughter works in a lab, so it seemed appropriate. I'm not doing this on the perforated paper. I'm doing this on 28 count mushroom Lugana. So here's where we got on that first day. You can see the outline of Frankenstein knocking at the door right there. So he was, he got the first day. He's riding along in the small project bag, so that if I don't feel like messing with paper, or if I'm in a place where I can work on cloth, then I've got another piece. So he was my start for the Halloween sale that started on August 1st. Otherwise, I kind of just kept working on my Santas, working on the other pieces, until the Olympic sale started. And the Olympic sale started on August 5th. The first day of the Olympic sale was to stitch something with blue, stitch a piece with blue. While I had a lot of pieces that had some blue in it, I also found out that a friend of the family is expecting, and she's expecting a boy. So I purchased from Stitchrovia this sampler, Dream Big, from Stitchrovia, recently completed by Sherry from Corpus Christi. Sorry, Sherry Burkett. And that was what I started on Friday the 5th. And here's where we're at. Yes. Here's where we're at. Should go fast. I will add another. I'm gonna scooch down these bottom filigree things, and I'll put at least a name and date there for the baby boy. He's not due until the end of October, so I have a little bit of time. Thank you. Okay, so that's that. All right, Saturday. I have notes. Saturday was stitch a piece with an international theme, and that's when Scotland Santa. Where did he go? Sorry. I got piles everywhere. That's when he got more work. Scotland Santa got more work on Saturday. Sunday, August 7th, was stitch something with yellow in it. So for my yellow piece, I brought out my red and scarlet. So I'm doing, this is from Sew to Stitch, Movies in My Memory 2, actors. But there's a piece right down here you can see where they've taken Scarlet from Movies in My Memory 1 and Red from Movies in My Memory 2 and stitched them together. Gone with the Wind is one of my favorite movies, therefore that's what I'm doing. So Scarlett got herself a yellow hat. That was my Sunday stitching on the 7th. Last Sunday. Okay. Monday the 8th, stitch a piece with water. So I was in California, and my primary whip in California is Pumpkin Passport, which I'm still not caught up on, but I'm getting close. I'm getting really close. Well, Pumpkin Passport has lots of water in it, right? So that's what I picked up. And I started Egypt. I'd actually finished the first 6, including all the borders. Am I getting this too? I finished the first 6, including all the borders, by the end of July. So then, starting in August, I was able to start Egypt. Yes, I appreciate the irony. I appreciate the circumstance of stitching on a piece with water in it and starting on Egypt, which, other than the denial, doesn't have much water. But anyway, so I started Egypt on Monday the 8th. I continued to work on Passport on Tuesday the 9th. So everything that I could fit for this piece, because my goal is to be completely caught up on this piece by the end of this month, which means I have to finish Egypt and I have to do India for the Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal doesn't look too bad though. So I don't think it's going to be an issue getting caught up. I'm not talking about borders. I don't care about borders right now. I want to be caught up with the monthly installments by the end of this month. That's my goal. So that got some time. Not a lot of time. It was a crazy busy work week. So sometimes I only get an hour, if I'm lucky, 2 of an evening. I did watch Olympics at the time, so that was good. Okay. On Wednesday, August 10th, it was specialty stitches. So I pulled out my handy dandy mini twist number 1 from Northern Expressions Needlework stitchy box. And I started on the big center band, so this band. So we started with Leviathan. There's a row of Leviathan stitches in there, and then on either side of it are ray stitches, and then now I've got these giant eyelets that are going in. So I did all of that on Wednesday evening, so that was pretty good. So that was the specialty stitches portion of the SAL. On Thursday the 11th was green for the Olympic rings. Good old Scotland Santa. I actually put in some of the green in his plaid at the bottom here, so didn't get a lot done. Our flight was very late, and by the time we got on the plane, it was all I could do to actually focus enough to put needle through paper. I primarily watched Floss Tube that I had downloaded on my iPad and had a drink. But I got 1 needle's worth of green, which satisfied myself for the SAL. My dog is jumping up and down off the bed. So on Friday the 12th, it was the triple. To work on 3 pieces. Piece number 1 was finishing off the plaid, the blue in the plaid. Piece number 2, I didn't write down. Oh no, piece number 2, remember, piece number 2, I finished the beading on my Halloween, on my Halloweeny piece. That was number 2 for Friday the 12th. That's when I finished this. And then went on and finished it, put the felt and the magnets on this guy and this guy on Friday night. So that was Friday. So technically I touched more than 3 pieces. And then the third piece that I worked on, and the piece that is continuing to capture my attention here in Arizona, is Ink Circles Tapestry, which I started at the end of June as a stitch along with a group of friends, and here's where I'm at now. This is 30 count platinum Murano, and in just this last couple days I've finished this flower down here, this whole stem area here, this bit here, this bit here. So I stitched late into the night on Friday working on this, and I worked on this yesterday as well, and I might work on it a bit more today. After I put some time into Mr. Mesa Santa for the Olympic SAL. This is I love working on this. I really love it. 2 of the gals in the group have actually finished theirs already. They are overachievers. But I know there's at least 3 of us that are still working, and a couple that haven't started quite yet, but that's okay. So I love this piece. It's my favorite. Okay, so and tapestry will continue to be my Arizona piece as much as I can. So we still have another week of Olympics. And the plans are similar. Tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday are white for the flag. Tuesday the 16th is something with a wheel in it. And then Wednesday the 17th is gold, again, for the rings. And I'll be working on Pumpkin Passport for all 3 of those days. So here's a funny one. On the 18th, it's patriotic. Let me come back to that. There's a story. 19th is something with silver, which I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm going to do something. Saturday the 20th is a fire theme, which I will go back to Red and Scarlet because one of my favorite lines in Gone with the Wind, the book or the movie, is Scarlet saying "Great balls of fire." So she will be my fire piece. And then finally on the 21st is copper or bronze, and that will be Gypsy Queen. I'll pick up Gypsy Queen because the metallics in her dress are a coppery color. So that's next weekend's plans. Okay. So for the 18th, as I was sitting down and filling out my calendar here, and trying to work out what whips I had that would fit in each day, that were in the correct state. For the 18th, I thought, I know I've got a couple patriotic whips that I had started, but I haven't touched them in forever. So I went digging in my stash. I did some excavation, literally. I found those whips. Found both of them, so before I pack later today, I've got to figure out which one is going to go with me. The challenge is that they're both on 40 count linen, which could be interesting for the airplane, but one stitch, all I need is one stitch, and I'll be good. But I found a lot of other whips. I mean, I found whips that I forgot I had. So there's in another group that I'm in, they've started talking about doing a year of whips. Kind of the reverse of the year of starts. And the goal is to pick out a dozen whips to work on over the course of a year. Not a calendar year in this case. This would start in October. Very similar to the Whipocalypse that was run a few years ago by a friend of mine. I'd made that year, the first year of the Whipocalypse, I finished like 8 things. It was awesome. So I pulled out whips, medium-size whips that I can use for that year starting in October. Dream Big will be the first one on the list because baby's due at the end of October, so I would like to have everything done except for the name and date before then. And I can even put the name in. They already know the name. But I have a boatload of other ones that will go in there. So I went through, and let me tell you, I was finding things that I forgot I had, and I was this close to put, I've got everything. It's all kitted. I can start it now. I was this close to pulling things out and starting them, but I stopped. I did not. I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. Look at all these whips I've got piled up here, ready for some attention. I'm not going to add to the pile yet. I mean, I will eventually, but heck, I've got to start planned for another sale on September 1st, which I will show you because I bought the chart and the fabric. But yeah, excavation, whips. I did, the ones that I pulled out, I did update into my Cross Stitch app. So now my Stitch app shows over 40 whips. Before it was like 20 something, and now it's over 40. That's how many I pulled out. Yeah. I have more stash than a small LNS. on to other topics. So, speaking of stash, just because I have a lot, it doesn't mean I'm not going to buy more. So it is now time to share the buy more. Just a moment. So Much to Love. My first So Much to Love. It's got nutcrackers on it. Yay! That is not, however, the project that is in here. This one also has a story. As I mentioned, I watch Floss Tube videos when I'm on the plane. I love Southwest. I love flying Southwest. I love that they have Wi-Fi. I love that I have status, so I can use the Wi-Fi for free. But there's no guarantee that every plane has Wi-Fi on it. So I download the Floss Tube videos to my iPad, so I have them to watch on the plane, even if there's no Wi-Fi on the plane. When I first started watching a few months ago, I just basically started with everybody's most recent video, and I've kept up with many of my subscriptions just by continuing to add the most recents. Some folks, I've gone back and actually watched them from the beginning. Yes, dear? Haha. Sorry. Some folks I've gone back and watched from the beginning. So recently, I had downloaded a bunch of Jessie Marie's videos from the very beginning, and I started watching those on the plane. Well, my husband doesn't usually, he'll look over and see what I'm watching. He doesn't care. He's usually listening or reading or something. Well, he saw one of her whips in her very early videos. We're talking like the first 3 or 4 videos. And he saw one of her whips, and he's sitting on the plane. He's sitting to my right, and he's looking at me with this grin on his face and pointing to my screen on the iPad because he sees this piece. Now, he loves Mirabilias. I have stitched him the 4 seasonal queens, which hang in the house. One of these days I'll figure out how to show them all to you. And those are his. Those are his pieces that I stitched for him. So he likes Mirabilia. And this was a Mirabilia. Winter White Santa. So he says he's doing this to me for Winter White Santa. Now, this is an older Mirabilia, so I knew it was not going to be difficult to come across. And I actually went on eBay and found the pattern and all the beads for $30-some. Itchy nose. $30-some, which I know, given the number of bead packs in here and the number of treasures, that was a deal. So I got that. So then the next thing was to head to the viewer to figure out fabric. And I came up with 2 options for fabric. The first one is, and I ordered them both, hand-dyed fabrics by Stephanie. Wow. Snowdrifts. So this was the first one that I got and has since come in. And then the other one was Arctic by Picture This Plus. So I ordered that as part of the Christmas in July sale. So once that comes in, then I will do a comparison of the 2 fabrics to figure out which one I want to use. And I'll probably start Winter White Santa on our anniversary, which is November 28th. So that will be his next Mirabilia. He also wants Royal Queen, which I have in the stash, kitted and ready to go. He also wants, I think, Queen of Peace, he claimed. And there are some other non-Mirabilia designs, but he doesn't ask for much, so I'll stitch. Twist my arm. I'll stitch for him. So this one, though, completely Jessie Marie's fault. Completely. She was a time-traveling enabler. So that came in. The other thing is when the Brexit vote for friends in Great Britain, and the EU exit that happened towards the end of June. It happened when we had our get together here. Folks noticed that it had a significant impact to the euro. So everybody in the get-together immediately started ordering stash from the UK. And so pole stitches was the most common. So I ordered some stuff from pole stitches, which came in. This is Lightning Strike Jobelin, 28 count Jobelin, Lightning Strike. Sorry, I'm not taking it out of the package. I also ordered the variety pack, which has some beautiful fabrics, a couple of three beautiful pieces in it. I'm looking forward to finding some stuff for those. And I also ordered another Baka kit, since my daughter is a mermaid fan. I also ordered another piece of fabric for because you may recall I have a Baka kit started, the Alice in Wonderland one. I did not like the fabric at all. So I ordered another piece of fabric. I've swapped it out. So when it comes up to be stitched on again, I'll show it. I didn't dig it out of the bucket. So pole stitches was awesome. Thanks to the Euro issues. Hey, we gotta take advantage of it when we find it. I got the second installment of Spooked. It would be awesome if I could find what I did with the first installment. I received I belong to the Dying to Stitch Prim Society, and this, the most recent kit is from the Scarlet House. Nice to meet you. They send a complete kit with, including finishing materials. There's some chenille in here, which you probably can't see, which is very nice. I have a number of these kits. It's usually, the designer's usually Scarlet House or Plum Street Samplers, both of which I very much like. Even though I don't do a whole lot of prim, I like Plum Street and Scarlet House. Well, Tanya from Scarlet House is just really nice. She lives locally. So I try to support my local LNS and my local designers. Of course, then we have Frosted Pumpkin, right? And so Frosted Pumpkin has 2 new clubs coming out, one of which is Halloween. So I got that kit in. The only thing I'm kind of bummed about is I got the fabric, which is Crystal Da Vinci from Picture This Plus, which I love Picture This Plus fabric. I am not a fan of opalescent though. So it's only a small piece, so I will persevere with this particular fabric. We'll see how it goes. I just don't sparkly fabric. I'm just not a big fan of the sparkly fabric. The other one I got, of course, was for the National Parks sampler. Again, Picture This Plus fabric. I did manage to get the Trick or Treat needle minder, which is on my board, which is in the other room. Sorry. However, the National Park needle minder I had in my basket, and someone stole it out of my basket, because when I went to check out, it said it was out of stock. It was like, wait a minute, it was out of stock when I put it. It was in stock when I put it in. So I don't know what happened there. Whatever. The next thing is a friend of mine, Erin, has been looking for seasonal charts, a seasonal series, and she posted. So she got a lot of suggestions in one of the groups. I don't remember which one. Maybe Cross Stitch and Discuss, maybe. And she recently, she's been working through some of those suggestions, and she bought the Bent Creek Signs series. So this is Signs of Autumn, Signs of Spring, Signs of Summer. And of course, Signs of Winter is the one that's hard to find, and it's the one that has penguins in it. These all came from 123 Stitch. Just this week, though, it popped up on eBay. I grabbed it. So I should have it soon, because that would be the one I would have to stitch first. It's got penguins in it. So those came in. I also recently bought some Soda Stitch. Melanie, this is Melanie's fault, has been working on Sky Blue Street. So I had to get that. And then we're doing an autumn autumn sale in the Soda Stitch group, excuse me, I can speak. For one of the Four Seasons autumn. Sorry. So Four Seasons autumn. We're going to start here, September 1st. And who buys just one season? I mean, really. I love that. This one's my favorite, I think. Four Seasons summer. Or maybe this one. Four Seasons winter. Though, I really like this one as well. Four Seasons spring. But I like autumn. So I'll be doing this one in DMC on 40 count linen, which will make it small-ish. 40 count linen. It's going to end up like 5.5 inches square, which will be a nice tiny little size. So that starts on September 1st. So I got that. Alright, I got my Jodrey. It's in fact, since I've seen you, I got 2 monthly packs from Jodrey. These are the monthly packs from Jodrey. Look at all those lovely, lovely colors. Lovely. Those came. I'm sure, excuse me. Reach. Okay. Sorry. So, I'm sure you've seen Death by Cross Stitch, right? The big long back pamphlet. Here's my silk. Color is not too horrible. It's a little more tealy than this is showing. And I got my 40 count linen for Death by Cross Stitch. So I'm ready for that. And then last but not least, got bits and pieces to do this was the monthly pattern of the month from Stony Creek. May through August of last year. So the Halloween piece. So I got fabric and little charmy things. Little charmies for that. So I am set. So that's it. That's it. It's been kind of a busy month. Lots of stuff. Next couple weeks are kind of busy, so not sure. But we'll do this again soon. Hopefully it won't be a month. It might be a month. If so, then I have lots to show, and we do this in like 45 minutes instead of the usual 25. But that's okay. So have a wonderful day. Stitch all the things, and I will see you next time.